Imagine a story where a young nobleman gets kidnapped by pirates, demands they raise his ransom, then comes back to crucify them for fun. Picture that same guy climbing the political ladder through sheer audacity, befriending and betraying powerful allies, writing best-selling war memoirs about himself in third person, and having a legendary love affair with the Queen of Egypt. Finally, imagine him getting stabbed to death by his BFFs in broad daylight, in the Senate House no less, all because he got too powerful. Sounds like a wild Netflix series, right? Well, it's history. This is the wild life of Julius Caesar, Rome's most famous general, lover, reformer, and dictator. In this episode of History Slop, we're diving into the crazy true story of Gaius Julius Caesar, from his humble beginnings in a turbulent Roman Republic to his rise as a military genius and ultimate fall in a hail of daggers. We'll keep it casual, a bit witty, and definitely engaging. Caesar would want it that way. He loved good publicity. So grab your laurel wreaths and popcorn, and let's get into it. Background: early life in Rome at the time. Julius Caesar was born in July 100 BC, or 102 BC, historians debate, into the Julii, an ancient patrician clan in Rome. Despite their fancy pedigree, they even claimed descent from the goddess Venus, Caesar's family was not particularly rich or influential. In fact, being patrician was almost a handicap in Caesar's era, since patricians were barred from certain powerful offices meant for commoners. Little Julius, full name Gaius Julius Caesar, because Julius was the family name, grew up in a Rome that was anything but stable. The late Roman Republic was a hot mess of power struggles. Think of it like a dysfunctional government reality show with swords. From 133 BC onward, Rome had seen revolution and counter-revolution in a loop. The Senate, Rome's elite council, was corrupt and hated by the common people. Generals turned politicians like Gaius Marius and Lucius Cornelius Sulla were duking it out for power in civil wars, setting the stage for someone like Caesar to eventually step in. Caesar's own family was tied to these conflicts. His aunt Julia had been married to Marius, a champion of the common folk. Caesar, coming of age in this chaotic time, aligned early with the populares, the popular party, against the conservative elites. At about 16, he lost his father and became the head of his family. Talk about pressure. Most teens worry about exams. Caesar was worrying about legacy. One pivotal early episode came when Caesar was just 18 or 19. Sulla, a dictator from the opposing faction, ordered Caesar to divorce his wife Cornelia. Why? Because Cornelia's father was an ally of Marius, Sulla's enemy. Caesar flat out refused. That nearly got him killed. Sulla proscribed, outlawed many of Marius's supporters, and Caesar was suddenly on the hit list. He had to flee Rome and go into hiding to save his skin. Sulla eventually pardoned the stubborn teenager, allegedly remarking that he sensed many a Marius in this young Caesar, basically predicting Julius could become a big threat someday. Good call, Sulla. To lay low, Caesar joined the army in Asia Minor, modern Turkey, and proved himself a capable soldier. Then in 75 BC, on his way to Rhodes to study rhetoric, came one of the most famous anecdotes of his youth. Pirates kidnapped him. Yes, actual Cilician pirates captured Julius Caesar. They demanded a ransom of 20 talents of silver, but instead of cowering, Caesar laughed at the price. He told them he was worth at least 50. Talk about confidence. The pirates, puzzled but happy for more money, raised the ransom and held him captive for over a month. During that time, Caesar joked around with them, but also warned that once free, he'd hunt them down. The pirates probably thought he was bluffing. He wasn't. After his ransom was paid and he was freed, Caesar promptly raised a naval force, tracked down the pirate crew, and crucified them as he had promised. Lesson: do not take Julius Caesar lightly. By his mid-20s, Caesar had seen it all. Civil war, life on the run, battlefields, and high seas drama. He even served briefly as a priest, Flamen Dialis, and then studied public speaking under a famous orator on Rhodes. Rome's chaotic politics kept tugging him back, though. Sulla died in 78 BC, so Caesar returned to Rome, ready to make his mark now that the big bully was gone. He started his political career in the normal Roman way, prosecuting corrupt officials in court, and of course targeting Sulla's cronies to settle old scores. The stage was set. The Roman Republic was a powder keg of debt, corruption, and class conflict. A populist military hero could easily win people's support by addressing those issues. Young Julius Caesar knew it. He was ambitious, some might say supremely cocky, and he had a flair for the dramatic. Keep your eye on this guy. He's just getting started. Rise to power, first triumvirate, early political maneuvering. Julius Caesar wasn't just a war hero, he was also a master political player. Back in Rome, he climbed the ladder of offices step by step, the cursus honorum. He became a quaestor, financial official, around 69 BC, then a flashy aedile in 65 BC, where he spent loads of borrowed money on public games and festivals to win the people's love. It worked. Romans enjoyed a good party, and Caesar's games had spectacular gladiator shows. Think of it as an election campaign with tigers and chariots as props. In 63 BC, he achieved a prestigious post, Pontifex Maximus, High Priest of Rome. Rumor has it he secured that post through shameless bribery and political savvy. He was only in his late 30s, relatively young for such an honor. But hey, who could resist Caesar's charm and bribes? That same year, a scandalous conspiracy led by Catiline was uncovered to overthrow the Republic. Caesar, then a senator, boldly argued against executing the conspirators, favoring a lighter punishment. This shocked the Senate, which mostly wanted blood. Some even accused Caesar of secretly sympathizing with the rebels, an early hint that the elite distrusted his popularist leanings. Nothing was proven, but Caesar's name was definitely buzzing in Rome's corridors of power. By 62 BC, Caesar became a praetor, a high-ranking magistrate. During his tenure, another scandal hit close to home. A mischievous aristocrat, Publius Clodius, snuck into a women-only religious rite at Caesar's house, disguised as a woman, allegedly to seduce Caesar's wife Pompeia. Clodius was caught. Chaos ensued. Caesar swiftly divorced Pompeia after the incident, asserting that Caesar's wife must be above suspicion. In other words, even a whiff of scandal was too much. Fun fact, that phrase became a proverbial expression for the need of public figures to be beyond reproach. Caesar took PR seriously. Next stop, a provincial governorship in Spain, 61 BC. But our guy was so deep in debt from all those public games and bribes that he couldn't even leave Rome until he found a cosigner. Fortunately, the richest man in Rome, Marcus Licinius Crassus, came to the rescue and covered part of Caesar's debts. Crassus basically said, "I got you, buddy," possibly expecting political favors in return. He wasn't being entirely altruistic. In Spain, Caesar finally got to play general for the first time on a larger scale, campaigning against some local tribes. He won battles, scored loot to pay off debts, few, and earned a small triumph, victory parade. His taste of military glory left him hungry for more. By 60 BC, Julius Caesar was back in Rome with big ambitions. He wanted to run for consul, the highest office in the Republic, but he knew he'd need powerful allies. Enter the first triumvirate, the Roman Republic's ultimate power trio. Caesar brokered a secret alliance with Pompey Magnus and Crassus. Pompey was Rome's greatest general at the time, fresh off huge war victories in the East and wildly popular. Imagine a war hero with the clout of a celebrity. Crassus was obscenely wealthy and influential. He basically ran Rome's fire department as a business. He'd buy burning houses on the cheap, then put out the fire. These three men had overlapping interests. Pompey's veterans needed land grants, Crassus wanted tax relief for his wealthy equestrian friends, and Caesar craved consulship and military command. So they formed an informal alliance. Basically, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours pact that bypassed the Senate's authority. With Crassus's money and Pompey's popularity behind him, Caesar got elected consul for 59 BC. Once in office, he rammed through laws to please his partners, land for Pompey's veterans, favorable tax contracts for Crassus's pals, and lots of populist reforms to boost his own creds. His co-consul that year, Bibulus, tried to oppose him, but Caesar steamrolled over Bibulus so much that people joked the year was the consulship of Julius and Caesar, since Bibulus was basically invisible, burn. Visual, cartoon of Caesar as a puppeteer holding hands with Pompey and Crassus marionettes, or vice versa, symbolizing the triumvirate control. The first triumvirate was technically illegal. No law authorized three guys to divide up the Republic's power. But who was going to stop them? Certainly not the Senate, which was scared and sidelined. Caesar cemented the alliance by marrying off his beloved only daughter Julia to Pompey. Yes, a political marriage. But by accounts, Pompey and Julia actually fell in love, so it wasn't all cynical. Still, it was a power move from Caesar to tie Pompey to him by family. At the end of his consulship, Caesar secured a plum assignment. He got himself appointed governor of Cisalpine Gaul and Transalpine Gaul, northern Italy and southern France, for 5 years. Why Gaul? Because Gaul meant armies to command, wars to fight, glory to earn, and gold to loot. It was basically a blank check for military adventurism. And boy, did Caesar cash that check. Before we move on, it's worth noting that the triumvirate showed how Caesar's rise wasn't just about battlefield heroics. It was also about alliances, money, and shrewd politics. He leveraged friendships and family ties to climb up. But as we'll see, political marriages and handshake deals can sour quickly in Rome. For now, though, Caesar was at the top of his game, heading out to Gaul with legions at his back, ready to write the next bloody chapter of his wild life. Visual, map of the Roman Republic circa 59 BC, highlight Rome and Gaul. Insert map of Gaul here, showing Caesar's new provinces. Military campaigns, especially in Gaul and the Civil War. With political machinations handled, Caesar unleashed his true genius. Warfare. From 58 BC to 50 BC, he waged the Gallic Wars, a series of campaigns that would make him a legend. Gaul, roughly modern France, Belgium, was a land of Celtic tribes, rich in resources and potential glory for an ambitious Roman proconsul. Caesar had proconsular imperium, the right to command armies, and he used every ounce of it. Gallic Wars highlights, 58 BC, Caesar confronted the Helvetii, a Gallic tribe migrating en masse across Roman allied territories. He defeated them and sent them back home. Next, he faced a Germanic king, Ariovistus, who had crossed the Rhine. Caesar vanquished him too, in part by clever tactics and fierce fighting. Word spread, a new warlord was in town. 57 BC, he took on the Belgic tribes of northern Gaul, winning a huge battle against a confederation of tribes. His own account claims at one point his men were outnumbered, but hey, Caesar always portrays himself as the underdog hero in his war commentaries. 56 BC, Caesar built a fleet to subdue the Veneti, a seafaring people on the Atlantic coast. When the Gauls took to the sea, Caesar literally invented a naval tactic. He equipped Roman ships with hooks to tear down the enemy sails. The Romans, usually landlubbers, actually won at sea thanks to that innovation. 55 BC, in a bold PR stunt, Caesar decided to go beyond Gaul. He built a bridge across the Rhine into Germanic territory just to show he could, and then came back after 18 days. He also launched the first Roman invasion of Britain in 55 BC and a second in 54 BC. While these British expeditions were brief, more like scouting raids, they were a big deal to Romans back home. No Roman general had ever done that. Caesar was now not just conquering new lands, but also expanding Rome's imagination of the world. Visual, map with arrows from Gaul to Britain, perhaps an animation of a legionary planting a Roman eagle standard on British shores. The Brits put up resistance, chariots and all, and Caesar didn't stay long, but he had a triumphant spin on it. He portrayed it as a great success, of course. By now, Caesar was also minting propaganda in Rome. He wrote commentaries on the Gallic War, dispatches sent back to the Senate which read like gripping war diaries, in polished third-person prose. Example, Caesar defeated the enemy and Caesar was awesome, I paraphrase. It was a masterclass in self-promotion disguised as modest reporting. These commentaries made him famous among the Roman populace. They still survive today and are a classic of Latin literature, and a nightmare for high school Latin students. 54 to 52 BC, Gallic resistance stiffened. In 54, tragedy struck Caesar's personal life. His daughter Julia, Pompey's wife, died in childbirth. This quietly loosened the bond between Caesar and Pompey, since their family tie was gone. Then in 53 BC, Crassus, the third triumvir, died disastrously while invading Parthia. He had molten gold poured down his throat, according to legend. Wealth couldn't save him from a Parthian arrow. With Julia and Crassus gone, the triumvirate unraveled. Pompey drifted toward the Senate's side, suspicious of Caesar's growing power. Meanwhile, the toughest fight in Gaul was yet to come. In 52 BC, a charismatic Gallic chieftain named Vercingetorix united the Gauls in a grand revolt against Caesar. This was the Gallic War's climax. Vercingetorix smartly used scorched earth tactics to starve Caesar's troops. But eventually, Caesar cornered him at the siege of Alesia. There, Caesar's legions built fortifications around the hill fort of Alesia and built a second outer ring of fortifications facing outward to hold off Gallic relief forces. It was a massive double siege works, basically trapping the enemy inside and holding off enemies outside simultaneously. In a brutal,